I always feel a bit dull and sluggish at this time of year. Luckily for me, it coincides with the peaches, plums and nectarine season in South Africa. These really give you a healthy glow. So I've thought of a dish using plums, ginger and pork. Now I start off with some halved baby potatoes. I like to keep the skin on because it really adds fibre to the dish. Just halve them, chuck them in. I'm afraid I have a weakness for pork at this time of year. Just season it really, really well. Then you get your nice crackling on top, making loads of mess. Bit of pepper. And do it over the potatoes so that excess seasoning goes into the tray. Pop it on top and all the lovely juices from the pork will go right into the potatoes, and then add a few cloves of garlic. I keep the skin on as well because it really doesn't matter. Then pop it in the oven for about 60 minutes. So now this is my favourite part. This is a really zingy, strong plum compote. And the kind of zingy compote really cuts through the fattiness of the pork. I absolutely love it. Now when looking for kind of plums, there's three main colour kind of types. There's purple, red and yellow. All works very well with this, but I'm kind of partial to the kind of bright pinkness that the purple plums give to the dish. So just cut them in half and then cut them into kind of rough dice. It's quite a rustic winter dish, so it doesn't need to be too formal or too difficult to make. So I've added ginger to this, mainly because I think it really adds warmth to the dish, but also actually if you are thinking about kind of looking good and feeling good, ginger is great as a kind of immune system booster. So just chop it up. You can grate it also if you want, but I quite like the kind of almost textural aspect of it. And I've also added a bit of shallot for another savoury aspect and keeping with a kind of chutney feel to it. Got my plum, ginger and shallot. All I need now is some cider vinegar and lots of nice brown sugar. Now to make the compote. Pop your plums straight in a saucepan. This is such a beautiful colour. These plums just make the dish really, they really make it a vibrant dish. And it kind of is a dish that will cheer you up on a cold winter's day. Pop in the shallots. Give it a bit of stir to distribute it all evenly. And then we simply just add the vinegar and the sugar. I love that brown sugar as well because it gives it that kind of caramelized flavour as opposed to just sweetness. So mix it all up, cook it a little bit with the lid off so you get rid of all the kind of extreme vinegary flavours, and then put the lid on and cook it for about 20 minutes. So just before your pork is ready, you can cook your cabbage. Really want to cook it last minute. We don't want those kind of school dinner cabbage smells going through your house, which I think all put us off the cabbage for life. Right, I'm going to add a bit of olive oil. You can use butter, whatever takes your fancy. Nice Savoy cabbage is wonderful this time of year too. So some Savoy cabbage. Now, I don't want it to fry too much, so add a little bit of water and then steam it. So give it a bit of a stir. Turn it down a little bit. Add a little bit of pepper and some salt. And that is literally that. So we're going to get the pork out of the oven now and plate it all up. So I can really smell that roast pork cooking now. It's such a wonderful smell. Look, that just looks fantastic. Pork crackling to me is really very important. The only thing is, with shop bought joints, they don't always crisp up as much as you'd like. So my little tip for this is to simply take the skin off and put it back in the oven. That way you keep your nice, moist, succulent, non-overcooked pork and crisp up your skin. So it's a bit fiddly, but cut the string off. Now then just take your knife and secure it on the board carefully so you don't cut yourself. And then run the knife round between the skin and the flesh. So now the pork needs to rest for 20 minutes anyway, so that can go back in the oven and crisp right up. So let's just get these potatoes out as well. These look so, so good. pour all the lovely juices out there as well. Don't lose any flavour. Pour that back over the pork. It really is yummy. Then pop the crackling back in, and that goes back in the oven just while you're waiting for that to rest. So I'm very excited about this, I have to say. Get the pork. I like to serve it all on a big platter, but we're gonna do a nice little plated version here. Pop some of the lovely potatoes on the plate. Some cabbage. And the pork on top. Then this is the colourful kind of antioxidant booster to finish the dish off. Just pile a bit of the compote on top and spoon around some of the juices. It really is a pretty dish. And there we have the roast pork with plum and ginger compote. Now don't forget, at this time of year though, South Africa also has some amazing peaches and nectarines, and they are all ethically and environmentally produced.